How's it? Greetings from Arizona. Been here for the last few days playing golf, believe it or not, and it's been 3 days of golf, 3 straight rounds. I'm feeling it right now. It's been fun, but it's been educational for me, and I just want to share a couple thoughts with you as it pertains to my game and what I kind of went through. I guess in a way this golf has allowed me to sympathize with learners and students of the game and people that I've taught, and certainly people who listen to and watch and support our podcast. Now, firstly, for the longest time I've preached picking that low-hanging fruit. And for me that's always being good at shot number 3. Because I believe that if you're good at shot number 3, you're going to make lots of 3s and 4s. Now that still holds true. But I have to tell you, playing here with some narrow fairways and with fairways lined on either side by a cactus and desert and just difficult places to play from, it's been impressed upon me a little bit more that accuracy and having a reliable shot off the tee is paramount to success. Because if you're playing from disaster, you're going to have a tough time getting your third shot close to the hole. So I want to say this to you. If you want to chase power, by all means. But I will still say this to you. There is place in the game, and after this week, again, I'm modifying my message that if you can have something reliable off the tee that you can put in play, put yourself on the front foot to be able to hit and approach shots somewhere close to the green, or on the green preferably, that you can let your third shot shine, you're going to be well on your way. Again, power is fantastic. Golly, I wish I had more. I played with a guy one day who had mammoth club head speed, 125 mile an hour or so. And there was one par 5, I hit my 245, 250 yard tee shot down there, and he bashed one some 330. I laid up with a 5-wood, had like 60 yards from my third. He had an iron into the back edge of the green. I then wedged my third shot close, made 4, and he 3-putted for 5. Now the story is not me patting myself on the back. The story is that if you can go into greens with shorter clubs, that is awesome. More power to you. But it's no guarantee that you're going to make low scores. Remember, the scoring happens close to the green. But I want to challenge each and every one of you who watch this or in the sound of my voice, find something you can go to off the tee. My first day, I was horrid off the tee. Made a couple 8s, in fact. Lost a couple golf balls. And towards the end of the day, I was just like, screw it. And I went down to my favorite club, my 5-wood, and just hit that off the tee. I had longer seconds, but I was playing from the fairway. And I finished pretty well. And then as I finished well, my confidence began to grow. Then in days 2 and 3, I steadily began to play better, and because my confidence was up, I began to drive the ball with my driver a little better. So look, the message still holds true. Get good at shot number 3, that low-hanging fruit, you know. But develop something, work on something, build something where you have some sort of go-to shot off the tee. Get that first one in play. Put yourself on the front foot for some success. Power helps, but accuracy matters. It reminds me of Brendan Todd, who's been on my On the Mark podcast. And he said, power is a luxury, accuracy wins tournaments. And after playing the last 3 days, I got that lesson front and center. So that's number 1. And my second lesson is this. I came in here playing golf with a few folks, and I'd hit a few balls and practiced a bit before I came to Arizona, and I was feeling pretty good about me. I'd done some nice stuff on the range, and I came in and I had these couple swing thoughts that I had to apply. And in the warm-up, before the first day, I was a little nervous, as you would imagine, the anticipation of it all. And from then, I made sort of a scrappy par on the first, and then I hit a hook into the cacti on the left on the second hole, and my driver was just a disaster. And the worse it became, the worse I clung to these swing thoughts, the more I clung to these swing thoughts. And the next thing, instead of just playing and swinging free, I was this conglomeration of swing thoughts and trying to do this and trying to do that and not doing this and not doing that. And it was a disaster. And towards the end of the day, I got to that place where it was like, screw it, I'm done with this. And maybe a little wisdom set in. But what I then strived to do was I actually turned around, and it's sunshiny out here, so I made a practice swing with the sun directly over my back so I could see my shadow on the ground. And whereas I was trying to do X and Y to get the club to perform in a certain fashion, I watched myself moving back and forth, and I saw my head sliding back and forth in the biggest way in the practice swing. So then from then on, all I tried to do was keep my head stable behind the ball and have the club touch down in the right place. Lo and behold, whenever I made a practice swing, when I did that, I'd find that I'd land in the wrong place. So I'd make one more practice swing that landed in a more appropriate spot, and when I had that feel, I got over the shot, I aimed it, and it was as simple as head behind the ball, land the club in the right place. And my shots instantaneously began to improve. I felt some freedom in my swing come back. And look, it wasn't that I hit everything perfectly, but I hit everything in the direction in which I was looking, and so my scores began to improve. So the lesson is basically this, and I'm sort of embarrassed to admit this to you, is that here's a guy who's been teaching golf since 1996, preaching simplicity to everybody, and I was the furthest thing from when I was trying to play. It's crazy, man. So anyway, so now I'm trying to keep my head behind the ball, trying to land in the right place, have a good practice swing before the time, set the table for something successful upcoming, and off I go. And I know it sort of sounds, oh, right, yeah, this is trite, this is boring stuff. But I'm living this, I've lived it, and I can say this for certain. So whatever you're working on with your teacher or your coach or whatever, boil it down to what that work will result in. And that may be a certain body location or a club face location to get the ball to perform, right? So let that be your focus when you play. Instead of going, well, I must do this and I mustn't do that, and you make it all too difficult. In the end, golf is a game of athleticism, it's a game of freedom, and it's a golf swing. And as I once heard Jack Nicklaus say, you can't position the club through the swing, you have to swing the club through the positions. So for me, that's keep my head behind the ball. That's land the club in the right place. If I don't do it the first time in the practice swing, I do it again and again until I get it right. I step in with a good picture in my mind, and off I go. It worked. Simplicity works. Trust me on this. If you're struggling with your game, boil it down to what must happen. One thing. Have a good picture and go. It worked for me. I'm pretty certain it's going to work for you.